What's going on, guys? Bengal again here, coming back at you with another video, and today doing my playoff predictions for the 2019 NFL season. Of course, it's the end of the decade. It's the end of the 100th season, at least the regular season here, as we still have a full playoffs to go, and that's what this video is going to be. I do feel a little bit naked without my headset on right now, but that's, for a different website. You guys know how all those streamers went, they signed exclusivity deals with Mixer or Twitch or Facebook or YouTube or wherever. I'm proud to announce that I've signed an exclusive deal with Chatterbait. Link is in the description. Make sure to check it out. But no, we are doing the 2019-2020 NFL season playoff bracket. Season just ended. As I record this, the Seahawks just fell to the 49ers, short by inches. And then, of course, we're going to think about, oh my goodness, what if they didn't have that delay game? What if this? What if that? But all these games near the end of the season, with so many different playoff implications, have felt like playoff games in their own right. So these playoffs, I expect incredible things. My expectations are set sky high. Of course, I already know with doing a video like this that it will not be received well. Of course, even though last year I got the entire wild card correct, I got every game in the divisional correct, except with the exception of the Eagles-Bears games, because Cody Parkey missed a field goal as it doinked off the bar or the post or wherever. The double doink. So I would have had the entire divisional round correct. I had the Super Bowl winner correct. Regardless of that one change, I had, I think, most of the conference correct. I had the AFC correct. I think I had the NFC correct as well. But anyway, I know I'm already going to be called an idiot. People are going to say I don't watch football. I expect this. Go for it. Do whatever you have to do to make yourself feel better. And I know with saying that, of course I'm setting myself up for complete failure and being totally incorrect this year, which I'm comfortable with. I'm comfortable with that. So without further ado, I guess let's go ahead and jump right into it. I'm on predictors.com. I'm sure as I record this, more brackets will go up. But if you guys want to do it, playoffpredictors.com if you want to fill out your own. Make sure to send them to me on Twitter, twitter.com/BengalDesigns. But let's go ahead and jump right into it. We'll start with the AFC. We got the Bills and the Texans. Of course, if you guys want to, you can just skip around for the predictions. But if you want my actual reasoning behind each game, make sure to stick it out and watch the entire thing. But I'm going to take the Texans at home. I think home field advantage is a real thing, especially in the playoffs. Texans play in a dome, so that's going to be amplified with that sound echoing off the walls. And I think the Bills are a pretender of a team. Their defense is incredible, but I think the Texans match up fairly well in that they have a very high-powered offense. And even though their defense is fairly weak, I think the Bills have shown that they can't be a consistent threat on offense. People talk about the development of Josh Allen and how good he is. It's not like he's out there dominating on a week-to-week basis. The offense is still fairly weak, but the defense is so incredible on the side of Buffalo that they've been so good. And they had a cupcake schedule. They really, really did. That is not debatable. And sure, you can come with the argument you only win the games on your schedule, and that's true, and they did a good job of that. I'm not taking anything away from them, but their record to me means less than some of the other teams with similar records. I am going to take the Texans. I think they're a better team, and I think with home field advantage, they're pretty much a shoe in there to win. And I don't think this is a surprise out of the AFC. I'm also going to take the Patriots. Yeah, they somehow lost to the Dolphins at home. That's a little bit foreboding, not a great sign going into the wild card round of the playoffs. And I don't really think I even have to explain this one too much. The Patriots have one of the best, if not the best defenses in the NFL. They've been incredible the entire year. And the Titans have exceeded expectations, but I think with Ryan Tannehill going into New England, and even though he's had an incredible season, Derrick Henry has done way more than I thought Derrick Henry would be able to do. He's elevated his game as a runner. Henry's been a beast this season. Won't take anything away from him. He's been very, very good. But this Patriots team is just on another level from the Titans, who snuck into the playoffs. They had to win in Week 17. They beat the Texans' backups. I don't think there's a whole lot to be said about how great the Titans are. I think they've exceeded expectations. They've done well enough to make it into the playoffs, but they're just going up against a better team, in my opinion. So I'm going to have the Texans and the Patriots, the two higher seeds in the AFC. And then switching onto the NFC, I am going to take the Seahawks over the Eagles. I think the Seahawks are a much better team that are unfortunately for them in the wild card because the 49ers were better than them over the course of this season. And they played it very tight. The Seahawks got one game. The 49ers got one game. The first one went into overtime. The second one came down to literal centimeters away from a Seahawk win and a non-PI call in the NFL, or in the end zone, I should say. So kind of could have gone either way there. I think the Seahawks are a great team, and normally I might say something about the Seahawks not being able to really assert their dominance against teams. There was that stat that showed up where they have had 10 games, 10 wins decided by one possession or less, or one possession or less. That doesn't make sense. You can't have less than one possession in a win. But you guys know what I mean. 3 points or a touchdown. And I just think the Seahawks are better. And they have had that ability to finish games. And really, I think the biggest thing here is I can't bet against Russell Wilson in this instance. Their defense is not great. Their defense is not great at all. But then you look on the Eagles, it's the NFC least. The Eagles snuck into the playoffs because they won the division in one of the weakest divisions we've ever seen. This NFC East is terrible. The Redskins and the Giants are jokes. They combined for what? 6 wins? And then the Cowboys won, we have it here. Cowboys won 8. Eagles snuck in with 9. Giants and Redskins combined for 7. Terrible, terrible teams. And the Eagles barely even beat the Giants today. And the Giants are really, really bad. And I know this. I'm a Giants fan. And I think Eagles want to have this underdog story again. They want to ride that this time with Carson Wentz instead of Nick Foles. Hats off to them. I hate the Eagles. I'm not picking the Eagles because I hate them. Or I'm not picking them because I hate them. I just think the Seahawks are a better team. And I think it'll be a good game, though, anyway. Eagles have home field advantage. I just think the Seahawks are better. And I'm not going to bet against Russell Wilson to go out first round. Vikings, Saints. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one either. I think the Saints are just the better team. Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, electric on offense. Alvin Kamara is even great. And their defense has played well when they need to. The only gripe with the Saints this year is they shoot themselves in the foot at times with penalties and unforced errors that didn't need to happen. And really, that's a lot on their defense. Their offense is still solid enough, and they're playing at home. The Saints are such a tough team to beat at home. Of course, we know that. And then it might get a little bit more difficult for them on the road. They got this Vikings-Saints rematch. This time, they have the benefit of home field advantage. And I don't think the Saints are going to get screwed this time. Maybe Marcus Williams wraps up in the secondary instead of trying to avoid a penalty. But yeah, the Vikings are solid. Another team that has kind of exceeded expectations in a little bit of a way, making the playoffs. But I just think they're running into a team that's just better than they are. I think seeing Seahawks, Saints, and Vikings, Eagles would have been a little bit more fun. I think they would have been closer matchups, but you never know. It's the playoffs. These teams deserve to be here. Anything can happen, but that is my divisional. Simulate to the divisional. Got a little bit of terminology from somewhere else breaking in there. But we have 2 teams moving on, 2 teams going home. That will be the same case here in each division, each conference, I should say, as we have the Patriots against the Chiefs. This is such a tough one because the Patriots and the Chiefs have had such fantastic games over the past 2 years, with Patrick Mahomes going up against Tom Brady. Great game in the playoffs last year. Great game in the regular season. The Patriots and the Chiefs are 2 very good teams. I feel like for some reason the Chiefs are kind of being slept on this year, which is an odd thing. And it's so tough for me to pick against the Patriots because over the past decade, in the past, we're like, this is where the Patriots fall off. This is where the Patriots fall off. And now we finally see some signs of it happening, where Tom Brady doesn't look as good as Tom Brady has looked in the past at all. Their offense has really taken a step back. And now, playing their starters, playing for a first-round bye, they lose to the Dolphins at home? I'm going to take the Chiefs here, man. I know the Patriots are going to be coming off a win. They're going to be maybe firing on all cylinders, getting ready for this Chiefs game if they get out of the first round. But I just think the Chiefs are too good. You got one of the best offenses in football in Kansas City going up against one of the best defenses in New England. Arrowhead's another place that gets crazy loud in Kansas City. But I just think the Chiefs are going to be able to edge this one out. It's going to be the passing of the torch, Tom Brady handing it over to Patrick Mahomes in a way. I'm going to take the Chiefs. And also, I'm going to take the Ravens. They're the number 1 seed for a reason. Their offense is incredible. Their defense has played so well. As soon as their edge rushers and really their front 7 started getting pressure on opposing quarterbacks, that defense has been elevated to another level. Their linebackers play fairly well, and that secondary is really solid. Marlon Humphrey's a beast. Earl Thomas is solid. Tony Jefferson's had a pretty good season. And, of course, haven't really mentioned Lamar Jackson too much, but he is the most dynamic weapon in professional football right now. It's so tough to stop him. And when you have a mobile quarterback like that, it forces defenses to dumb down their coverages to account for them. The Texans have not been a dominant defense all year, and I think the Ravens are going to blow right through them. That would be my guess. Moving on into the NFC. We have a great matchup. Saints-Packers. Packers have the benefit of home field advantage. The Saints, who play in a dome all year, are headed to Green Bay. Freezing Green Bay here. And the Packers are another team who have looked pretty shaky recently. Although I am going to pick the Saints. I think home field advantage is a real thing. We've seen the Packers lose over the years at home, though. The Saints are fantastic. The Packers are very good. I just think the Saints are a little bit more consistent. And I would pick Drew Brees and the Saints team to be going all in. And obviously all these teams are all in. It'd be ridiculous to say that they're not. But this could be Drew Brees' final year in the NFL. He just got snubbed from the stupid NFL 100 list. Leave a like on the video. Let me know in the comment section if you want me to make my own NFL 100 all-time team for a video. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But yeah, I think the Saints are a very, very good team. And the Packers just not quite there yet. Aaron Rodgers is great, but he's been a little bit up and down this year. I am going to pick the Saints. And now, a rematch. Seahawks-49ers. We've seen it twice already this year. Two instant classics, really. Where in this last game that happened tonight, it looked like the Seahawks were going to get blown out. And then they came back. And then it looks like there was going to be another blowout. And then they came back. And they almost won. These are two teams that have seen each other so frequently this year. And the 49ers are so good. Their offense is the weakest part of their team, but that's only because their defense is so good. Their offense is not terrible. I said Jimmy G is like kind of a middle-of-the-road quarterback. He's certainly trending towards above average, but he's in a great system to succeed. I don't think it's because of individual ability. Like Tom Brady in a lot of ways, he does enough to win the game, but he's not going to steal you many victories, I don't think. And he's a good quarterback, but he's just not in that elite territory that we see here from quarterbacks in the playoffs. When you look at Tom Brady, Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson in the AFC, and then the NFC, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Russell Wilson. Jimmy Garoppolo is certainly the worst quarterback of those 8 here in the conference championship. Now, there's more to the game than just the quarterback, even though they play a big role. And I'm not saying Jimmy G is bad. That's absolutely not what I'm saying. But I think playoff atmosphere is a different thing. And the 49ers have completely turned around their organization in no time flat. They've been incredible. But I just think that the Seahawks are going to do enough to finish in the playoffs when it matters most. I'm going to take the Seahawks over the 49ers. The Seahawks are great. The 49ers are great. It's tough. You know, you wish both teams could win. Who could pick a loser? I think the real winner are those of us who get to watch it. So I just say the corniest things possible. No, I mean, so many of these games are gonna go either way. If you told me that the Patriots beat the Chiefs, I'd be like, yeah, it makes sense. Tell me the Packers could beat the Saints at home, I go, yeah, no, that's okay. You tell me the 49ers are going to beat the Seahawks, I go, yeah, that also makes sense. These teams are so close that it really could go either way. It's a coin flip, and as cliche as it is, as much as I hate that I'm doing this, I'm really picking a quarterback over a quarterback instead of the team versus a team here in the NFC Championship, because I think the teams are just so close. I just think Russell Wilson and the Seahawks, who have more experience in these situations, are going to be able to edge it out. So that is my conference championship. Excuse me, that is my divisional. If I said conference championship, I certainly misspoke. As here is the conference championship. We have the Chiefs and the Ravens. I'm going to take the Ravens again. This is going to be an incredible game if it shapes up like this. Lamar Jackson versus Patrick Mahomes, really the future of the NFL. This is crazy. I cannot wait if this actually happens. The Chiefs are so good. The Ravens are so good. But I think the Ravens are just the best team in the NFL, and it's so tough to pick against them. They're so talented on both sides of the ball. Their defense is seemingly only getting better. Lamar Jackson's only getting better with experience. This Chiefs team is not a great matchup. When you look at their defense, don't have a lot of speed out there. Now, they've got a decent pass rush for sure, but their secondary is fairly weak. And when you look at the strength of this Ravens team, they've got some deep speed. Hollywood Brown. They've got a great tight end in Mark Andrews. And when you look at the Chiefs, not a whole lot of deep speed in that secondary. They've got some playmakers, but not a whole lot of deep speed. Also, not a whole lot of linebackers with good speed to cover a guy like Mark Andrews. I don't know how they're going to account for both of those players. Maybe they'll even stick Tyrann Mathieu on Mark Andrews, but that's a size mismatch. I don't know. It's going to be very, very interesting. And it's not like Tyrann Mathieu's an athletic, like, speed demon to where he can take Hollywood Brown deep. He's great with technique, great nose for the football, great playmaker. But I just think this Ravens team is going to fly around on offense, be a little bit too fast, a little bit too talented for this Chiefs team. And you could say on the other side of the ball, the Ravens don't exactly have great deep speed to match a guy like Tyreek Hill, but nobody does. Tyreek Hill's the fastest player in the NFL, but it's going to take more than one player for the Chiefs to beat the Ravens. I think the Ravens are just a little bit better than this Chiefs team is, so I am going to take the Ravens. And then the 5 seed versus the 3 seed in the NFC, Seahawks versus the Saints. This is a fantastic matchup, but I'm going to go one last ride. I'm going to take the consistency of the Saints over the Seahawks. I think the Saints are a great team. I think the Seahawks are a great team too. But when you go into New Orleans and when you take a team like the Seahawks that have only won close games the entire year, I think they're just going to face a team that matches up way better. And the Saints' offense is arguably the best in football. Drew Brees is so tough to stop. Michael Thomas is proven to be impossible to stop. The Saints are just a little bit too good. They're just a little bit too good. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Saints over the Seahawks at home to advance to the Super Bowl. And in the Super Bowl, we got the Ravens, we got the Saints, Lamar Jackson versus Drew Brees. Another passing of the torch kind of moment here. It's going to be a fun game if this happens this way. Ravens versus the Saints is a great matchup. I just think the Ravens are a more complete team. But then you take the experience of Sean Payton, head coach of the New Orleans Saints. You take the experience of Drew Brees. It's going to be tough because, I mean, who knows what's going to happen to Lamar Jackson in a big game like this. You like to think he can rise to the occasion, but you never know. You never know what the Saints are going to send at him. I think this would be an incredible game. It would be a great Super Bowl, a whole lot better than Patriots-Rams last season. It's good to see new teams get in the mix, and you have the great storyline of, does Drew Brees go out on top? And even if he wins the Super Bowl, does he retire? Does he come back for another year? His contract's expiring. If he loses, does he hang up the cleats on a loss? Or does he come back and try to do it again? 1-year deal with the Saints? I don't know, man. That's a lot of fun to think about. And then with the Ravens, you got the young up-and-coming team that looks like they're going to be great for a while. A bunch of young stars. On the offensive side of the ball, Lamar Jackson, Hollywood Brown, Mark Andrews. Their 2 tackles are sick. Orlando Brown Jr., Ronnie Stanley. Didn't allow a sack all season. On the defensive side of the ball, Earl Thomas is getting a little bit older, but Marlon Humphrey's a young stud. They're going to have, healthy young players coming back. Tavon Young. Maybe they bring back Patrick Owasso. Matthew Judon's been so good. I don't know, man. You think this Ravens team's going to be great for a long time, but who would I take here? I don't know. It's so tough. I'm going to say... Oh, I don't even know, man. Some of these picks, like, they're all so tough, but they felt easier to make. Like, I really knew who I wanted, who I thought might win. But Saints-Ravens is a tough one if I've ever seen it. I don't know. I'm going to say this is finally the Saints' year. I'm going to take the Saints in the Super Bowl over the Ravens. That's my playoff bracket, guys. Let me know what you have for yours. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next one. Take it easy.
We'll